What is going on? Yo, what's going on, BroTalk Nation, man? It's your boy Eric here. Got my brother Jarmarcus on, and man, it's gonna be a great night, man.
It is.
Because if you just tuned in, probably seen a blooper, but it's cool. This thing gonna keep on rolling. God's word gonna keep flowing. So we in store. If you're here, we thank you. We welcome you. You're here for a great episode tonight, man. We're about to dive into something great, a whole new series. And we're starting with the life of the tree, man. I'm gonna let my brother jump in to explain that. But man, if you're out there watching, please like, please love, please share. Go catch the last episode. It was definitely great. It's a lot of great words in there. So if you're out there, hey, buckle your seatbelts. Get your popcorn, turn your phones off. It's about to go down. Bro, what you got for the people tonight?
Man, what's going on, BroTalk Nation? Like my boy E said, man, first and foremost, man, thank you, God, for letting us have another episode. Even starting off with the bloopers, we already got the enemy stirred up already, trying to shut us down early. But we know God's word always goes forward. That's why we always get prayer and covering before we even start this thing. That's why I continue to go. So, man, if y'all didn't know, man, if y'all didn't catch last episode, man, please go back, catch last episode. If you're out there on YouTube, subscribe, share, ring the bell, Facebook, share, head over, do whatever you can to get God's word out. Because tonight, man, and going forward, man, we got this new thing coming up. We in this new series. And I feel like it's about to be a powerful and impactful series, man. So I love when we get in these series because a lot of things happen and a lot of God movements happen in these series. So like E said, man, we're in the series called Trees, and tonight is the first one, the life of a tree. And I just want to start off by saying we were going to do this so long ago, and you know how God does. He has his own timing with things, and it came back full circle, and here we are. And tonight, E, I just want to give them the verse where we coming from, because I was going through, and I was like, God, where do we start this thing off at? Like, give me something. And he gave me a verse, bro, honestly, on a verse that we done before. But I want to see if we can see a new meaning out of this verse, because I got a new meaning out of it. And I wanted to talk to everybody about it and have a conversation with me and you about it. And it's Mark 8:23 through 24, man. And it's backstory about this story. This is the story of the blind man who got healed by Jesus putting some spit, and he had to get healed twice. I know there's a lot of controversy behind the spit. And, you know, we talked about it, bro. Like, you know, I don't know, Jesus. I don't know if you've been able to put some spit in my face, but we talked about it. And we talked about it on that podcast about how the man got healed and then had to get healed again. Yeah. So we made that podcast about being able to, you know, answer God when he says, can you really see? And he said no, and he had to get touched again, right, to be able to see. Yeah. But bro, I got a different view after I read it, right? It says, and he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village. And when he had spit on his eyes and laid his hands on him, he asked him, do you see anything? And the man looked at him and said, I see men, but they look like trees walking. And bro, I'm telling you, as soon as I reread that line, bro, the whole story unfolded for me. And God showed me something totally new. I reread that last line like 4 times. And he looked up and he said, men, He said, I see men, but they look like trees. And this is what got me on my Google.
Let's get it.
Did you know that trees are mentioned in the Bible more than any other living thing other than God and people?
Yeah.
Trees.
Mm-hmm.
It's mentioned in the Bible more than any other living thing other than God and people. And every major character has had a tree associated with it. You can go through the Bible and look at every main character. Somewhere, somehow, there was a tree associated with that character.
Mm-hmm.
Trees, like Jesus, give rather than take. That ain't even a point. That's just like a little note that I wrote down because I sat here and I started thinking on how much trees give.
Mm-hmm.
Trees, like Jesus, rather give than take. If you think about a tree's job, it's to give off what? Oxygen. It takes in all of the bad and it gives out all of the good. Who else job was like that? Jesus.
Man.
He gave out everything we needed to live, and he took in everything that we needed to die. Bro, I'm telling you, this thing unfolded for me.
Starting already, man.
It unfolded for me, bro. That ain't even a point, but just think about how good that is when we start thinking about trees, bro. So before I turn it over to you, E, I wanted to get in a little bit about this point. You know, like I said, we talked about being planted. We talked about the seeds on a podcast. We talked about the harvest. We talked about all these things.
Yeah.
But we never started talking about trees. And as I was driving, you know, today it's spring. We're in the summer. You're starting to see the trees being green. Everything is being good, right? And that's what got me. And, you know, we talked about it, how we on this subject right now about the life of a tree, right? Like that verse, I see men, but they look like trees. We talked about it before on how we thought it was, you know, a miracle about being, I couldn't see. Now Jesus does a miracle again. Clear, boom, I can see. But what if we miss something? What if we miss something more on Jesus was talking about on that verse? What if the man saw something that was really true? What if he really saw men as trees, right? You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says it, right? Psalms talks about it, how the Bible says, what if a man is like a tree by a river? So what if that man who got healed, because Jesus did heal him the first time? Do not mistake that Jesus made a mistake. He did not make a mistake. It wasn't like Jesus ran out of healing power and had to rub their hands together to get the real sight going. What if Jesus let him see what men are really supposed to be? What if that first sight he got was men really are trees, bro? Oh man, we here, dog. We here, bro. We're here.
For all the plant people out there, you know, this is definitely for you in the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But when I read that verse, man, and he said they look like trees.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing the true purpose of man. I don't think people understand that when you go through things in life, those testimonies, that's the fruit that you bear. Right. And it's not for you what you're going through. I know it happens to you, but it's really not for you. It's for you to tell what happened, how you got through, and the end result to what God did for you. See, now you're passing out good fruit. Now you're dropping good seed when you spread your testimony. Right? That's the whole purpose of a tree. Right? The purpose of an apple tree is not to bear meat. The purpose of an orange tree is not to bear apples, right? Everybody has a purpose. Everybody are like trees. And Jesus came here to fulfill his purpose, which off his tree, now we have everlasting life.
Oh, that's good, bro.
Let's go, bro.
That's good, bro. Like I love how you're diving into this because we're talking about the life of a tree, and you already hit up on like what is the purpose, right? Like we
Mhm.
talked about Jesus' purpose was for
Yeah.
the eternal life, and that's
Mhm.
why, like I said, that little note or whatever you want to call it, catchphrase about trees like Jesus, rather, they give rather than to take, because
Yeah.
all Jesus did in his whole thing was all he did was give. Like his entire time here, all he did was give. He gave miracles, he gave life.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, Jesus gave breath. When he came back and met Timothy again, he gave breath again. He breathed life into us again for the
Man.
second time. And we talked about that on the podcast again. And if you think
Yeah.
about trees, all they do is give. They give us oxygen, they give us life. Like, so, bro, like you made that point like perfectly clear. And I want to dive in so deep in this thing. I'm telling you, I was on my Google. I was in and on this one. I want to dive in this thing so good. The life of a tree. If you didn't know, the life of a tree is different from the life of a plant. It's very different. And
That's
we
good.
talked about that. We had a full,
Yeah.
Oscar nominated video that we did. If y'all haven't caught it, please go back and catch that. We
Yeah.
had great acting, great people behind the lens. The whole
Yeah.
thing won Oscars. I'm telling you. You probably missed it that year, but we won it. All right. But like we talked about being planted, and we talked about the harvest, and all that type of things. But
Mhm.
this one is different because the life of a tree is different, right? And I
Mhm.
want to go into that a little bit because I started Googling, like, wait, man, like what does a tree go through? Like how does it grow? And it
Yeah.
has that same thing like a plant where the seed happens and all of
Mhm.
that. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
skip over that. But the point that I do want to get to is there's a part of the tree life where something happens, and it gave me to my first point. You are meant to shoot up,
Mm.
and you'll get this after I give you.
Mhm.
The second part of a tree's life is where the seedlings shoot up. It literally says the shoot pushes up through the soil with shoot leaves, either poking above the ground or getting rooted underneath. So in this part of the tree's life, the seed has broken and is starting to shoot up
Mhm.
already. Now, at this point, when you're looking at that shoot, you don't know what it's about to bear. Like,
Mhm.
if you're the person who didn't put it in the ground, you
Mhm.
don't know what fruit it's about to bear. You don't
Yeah.
know if it's an orange tree, a lemon tree, or an apple tree. You don't know what type of tree it's about to become. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tree knows its job. Its
Yeah.
job is to shoot
Yeah.
up, right? So, right now, this point I'm making with you is just like this tree, you are meant to shoot up. And I'm telling you, I'm going to reference this thing all the way back to Jesus because I want you to understand this. Isaiah 53:2 tells us this is forecasting Jesus' life in the Old Testament. It says he grew up before them like a tender shoot. I don't know why this Bible is so good. The Old Testament reference Jesus even before he got here as a shoot.
Mhm.
It didn't know the Bible knew that it was about to bear good fruit. It
Mhm.
already knew that already, but it still referenced him because it knew Jesus was meant to shoot. And who are we like? Who does the Bible tells us we're like? We are God like. So if Jesus was meant to shoot, what do you think you are meant to do? You are not meant to
Man.
just be in the ground. You are
Right.
meant to be placed like God did us in the garden. He placed us around trees. He placed us in a garden, and then we were meant to shoot. Even though we sinned back then, we are still meant to shoot. We
Mm.
are rooted and grounded in the earth, and then you are meant to shoot up. I'm starting, bro. I'm going. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
And that goes back to what I was talking about, bro.
Mhm.
Like your testimony, like you're going through those things. Like, so once you start your journey into the storm that you think you're going through, right? Like you're being placed in the ground. It's time to get your roots ready, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
things are starting to happen to you, right? It's coming left and right. You're getting frustrated. But if you didn't know, right, as you start to get closer to God, you start to, you start to get a little more knowledge about what's going on in your life. You
Yeah.
start to get a little more knowledge in how to handle things going on in your life. And if you didn't know, if somebody put a camera on you and watch you as you're going through things, you're starting to do this. You're starting to shoot straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so once you come out that ground, that's people starting to see, like, the next time they see you is like, man, you look a little different. Like, you got something about you right now. Right.
Yeah.
Like, tell me your story. Tell me your growing process. Right. Because you can't get to the blessing without growing through something.
Oh, say that again, bro. Say that again.
You can't get to your blessing without growing through something. I didn't say going through.
Oh,
I
thank
said
you.
growing through something.
Man, that's
Right?
good, bro.
You have to outgrow and shed the dead skin of your old self, which God said we have to die daily. And you have to grow into his word so that you can grow into the purpose and the life that God already ordained for your life.
Yes.
That's the whole purpose of a plant. If you plant turnip seeds in the ground, at some point you're going to see a little stem poke up. But see, there's a process before it shoots up that you have to keep watering it.
Yeah.
You have to keep watering that area where you drop that seed. You're the same way. You're going through the storm. The rain is there because you have to grow. Let's go, bro.
Bro, that is good, bro. And I'm telling y'all, man, this is so good. And I love what you said, man, because a lot of times we say, man, the blessing's gonna come when I'm done going through something or going through the storm or going. Every time it's not gonna be going. Sometimes it's gonna switch up to, like you said, growing through something, man.
Mm-hmm.
Growth is a hard thing to do. Man. I'm about to speak to myself right now.
Yeah.
We think growth is easy. We think, growth is a 1-day process. We think growth is a 1-week process. Growth is gonna take time. Anytime planners and farmers and whoever out there, when you're growing something, it takes time. Think about that. When a baby is born before 9 months, it is called premature. You have to put that baby. You can't take that baby home right off the rip. That baby has to stay under different care because why? It was taken out of the growth process early.
That's good.
It didn't change what it's meant to be.
Yes, sir.
But it got taken out of the growth process earlier, so we got to give it extra care. Why do you think that's different from what you're going through? Or I'm sorry, what you're growing through?
Yeah.
Why do you think? Right. Why do you think if you get taken out of your growth process early, that you're not gonna need extra care? See, you're thinking, hey, I got taken out of this growth on this issue earlier, so I'm still gonna go out here and walk like a real child. No, you need extra care. You need extra because you got taken out of that growth a little bit too early. See, we gotta stop thinking that I'ma grow fast. We want an instant growth, and then when we get out here with this instant growth and haven't learned what we needed to learn, we're stuck.
Yeah.
See, you didn't even let your roots get rooted in the right place long enough before you even started to grow. You're not strong enough. You're not strong enough for that wind that's about to come and blow you over because you didn't let your roots get that verse. I wish humans were like trees by the river. Do you know how strong a tree root is if it's rooted by a river? It has a water source that's right there. Them roots are thick. See, I don't know too much about this stuff, but I read. I when we get in here, I Google a lot. The further a tree is from a water source, the longer the roots have to grow out. that means that the roots are a little bit thinner because they have to stretch a little bit longer.
Yeah.
See, when you stretch it out a little bit longer, you start to thin out the roots of the tree. But the closer it is to the source that gives it life, the thicker and stronger those roots are. I don't know how.
Good, bro.
The
That's good, bro.
closer you are to the water source that gives you life, the thicker and stronger your roots are gonna be. So I have a question for you. How close are you to the thing that gives you life?
Hey, we can end the podcast right there, man. That right there, we can end it right there.
I'm gonna be real with you, man. I gotta open up right now. I gotta be hot. Whenever I was away from God, whenever I was too far away from God, I was not strong enough.
Ooh.
You know what? Let me say that so everybody can hear it. So maybe that will help y'all. Whenever I was not close to God, whenever I was too far away from God, I was not strong enough. My roots were not thick and strong enough. They were too stretched far out, and something happened, and I got blown over.
Bro, man. Hey, we thank y'all for showing up tonight, man. It's been a great podcast because if you didn't get a word out of that right there, it's something I don't know. You too far away from God. Like, man, a tree that is close to the source has thicker roots. That means a winter storm could come, a hailstorm could come, a thunderstorm could come, a tornado can come. And you wonder why it will be the last tree standing. Man, think about a person like the one person I could think of in my mind, man. And, you know, it's definitely my mom. Like, her roots were so grounded in God.
Yeah.
When problems came, she was stressed, but then she'll go to the source. And when those problems came, it was like she was unbothered about it. You know what I mean?
That's good, bro. That's good. No.
And you gotta think to go back to what you said, bro, with your testimony. The further you were away from God, like, it wasn't even big storms that knocked you down. It was just the wind blowing.
Ooh, man. I take that one, bro.
Man, like, if you ever seen a tree in a tornado, like the aftermath of a tornado, right? After it go through, I always wonder, like, why certain trees didn't fall. Because certain trees, it completely tipped over. You saw all the roots, and you can see how thin they were. But there were some trees where only the branches fell off. And if you look at your life, the closer you are to the source, and when that storm come and it blows some of them branches off, see, those are the people you don't need in your life. Those are the things that you've given God, and now He's watched it. He's blown them away from you. So now they want to, right? If you didn't understand about like trees and plants, sometimes you have to break off or cut off a branch so that it doesn't contaminate the rest of the tree.
Say that again, bro. Say that one again. Bro, we getting into it.
Sometimes as in the growing process, the branch has to get cut off. And so it doesn't affect the rest of you to stop growing. There are going to be some people that, oh, I thought they loved me. And it could be family, friends, strangers, leadership, supervisor. It could be whatever that's close to you. But see, the closer you are to the source, as the branches start to fall off, new branches will grow. I got a tree in my front yard right now. All the branches are cut off. I cut them off. Some kind of way it still grow back. So if you're close to the source, whatever God took from you, He's going to restore 10 times better. Let's go, bro.
Let's go, bro. Hey, man, I want to, bro, like, you made me think of when you were talking about your mom, man. Yeah, man, my grandmother, man, is the same way, man. And it now that you said that, man, I'm looking at her like a tree because man, this is so good. The things that she has been through and the things that have gone on in her life, I wasn't strong enough. I wouldn't have been strong enough because I'm not grounded like her.
Yeah.
See, have you ever stood next to somebody who was grounded in Jesus, grounded in God? Like, have you ever just stood next to somebody? And if you did, and you actually took time and stood back, you would say, wow, it got to be nothing but God that they're rooting in, because the stuff that they've been through, oh, I'd have been gone. You wouldn't even, you know what's so crazy? You wouldn't even seen remnants of me left over. That's how bad I would have got pushed over. You would have saw no tree, no leftover roots or nothing. Because like you said, man, and I'm gonna be real, I wasn't even in a storm. It was just a strong wind. But because I was so far away, all it took was a wind. That's all it took. And God is saying, see, you're not even ready for the storm that I'm telling you that's coming, because your roots not even there. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because a lot of us think that I reached the growth. I reached it. But you got to understand, there is no ceiling for your growth. There's no ceiling for your growth. Thank you, God. Thank you for bringing it on. Do you know, I don't know off the top of my head, and I would have to Google it. I was watching, what movie is that? Planet of the Apes. And they had these trees that they ran to. It's like some of the tallest trees in the world. Do you think trees limit themselves, cap themselves on their growth? Do you think trees say, yep, I only want to be 3 feet tall? No, a tree is going to grow as high as it's going to grow. A tree is not looking up to see how high where its stopping point at, is what I'm trying to get you. You have no ceiling to your growth. That means that you should never want to stop growing with God. There's no ceiling to it. You should be wanting to learn every day something new, right? We're bringing the same verse that we've said before, but with a new meaning. He's going to give you a new meaning on every verse every day. That's why you got to go through and read a verse and get a new refreshed meaning, right? Every single day. I know there's a verse in the Bible that said God is going to refresh you every single day. He's going to want you to open up your heart and be a brand new every single day.
Renew your mind.
You renew your mind. There you go. Thank you. Like, renew your mind each and every day. He's telling you right now that growth has no ceiling, right? And he just told you, like, he just said it, like, stand next to somebody who is like, I mean, they rooted. For him, and it was his mom. For me, the one person that I know that I can legit put my eyes on, that I know that is rooted, is my grandmother. Like, I know things shake her, and she's probably been shaking in her life, but I know that woman can sit anywhere and nothing gets her. So, like, man, it made me think about that. So, I wanted to give the point where we're at right now in the life of a tree that you're talking about right now is the sapling part of the tree's growth like cycle. That's where we're at right now. And it says a tree becomes a sapling when it's over 3 foot tall. The length of the sapling stage, I love this part, that depends on the tree's species. But the sapling has different characteristics. During this time of sapling, right, is when the trunks become flexible, the bark becomes smoother. At this point, you're not producing fruits yet. You're just learning how to become, right? You're out of the ground now. You're 3 feet tall, right? I love the part where it says it depends on the tree's species, right? Because this is where we're talking about right now, where you don't want to stunt that growth. You don't want to, right? You want this process to be as long as it needs to be for you as a tree, right? You don't want to stunt this early, because if you stunt a tree's growth early, if you cut that tree off right then and there, if you cut it before its bark mature, if you cut it, that tree ain't gonna grow. I don't know if you ever had, like, at your grandma's house or your old uncle house, where you see a tree stump like in the yard because they cut it early. That tree never got a chance to grow because they cut it at the sapling stage. It never reached its full potential. It still was gonna be a tree, but all you can see now is the rings that it was gonna be. Let's go, man.
That's crazy. Hey, since you mentioning that stump, man, it takes me back to, like, I seen at my family's house, like, trees getting cut down, right?
Yeah.
Then there's another process to get rid of the stump. You have to uproot that stump so it doesn't even have a chance to grow back.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times that's you. Like, you have to uproot that old stuff, to give yourself a chance to grow. Like, you can't keep going to the same stuff. And this is, I can be honest with you, that's where I am in my walk. Is like, do I revert back to the old stuff or the comfortability of things, or do I continue to grow and get closer to the source? See, some of y'all are y'all acting like stumps, but y'all are trees.
Oh, say that. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt somebody.
Like you acting like a tree stump right now. Like, you supposed to bear fruit. Like, you're not on earth for no reason. You have a purpose.
Yeah.
Right? Every tree on earth has a purpose. Every species of tree has a purpose. So my purpose and Jarmarcus' purpose may be two different things, but our main sole purpose is to be a tree and bear fruit. You can't bear fruit.
That's good, bro.
Yo.
That's good, bro. Like, I'm telling y'all, man. I really hope y'all get from this, like, everything I'm getting. I'm writing stuff down because, like, as you're saying stuff, like, it's I'm telling, he's unfolding this thing, like, right in front of my eyes, and that's why I'm writing stuff down. So, like, I need y'all to understand. Excuse me. I never correlated the two. Like, I never correlated trees and humans together. Like, I never put them together. I saw the song. I've seen that Psalms verse so many times, and I'm gonna find it where he's talking about, like, I see humans as trees next to the river. I never correlated the two. Like, I just read it and I was like, oh, okay, we're, he's saying we're supposed to be strong by the source of the water, but it's so important how God views trees and how we are like trees and how Jesus made this guy. Because I'm telling y'all right now, and I believe it in my heart that first view that man saw after Jesus gave him that initial healing was what he was supposed to see. That men are like trees, that we are supposed to be like trees rooted in God, right? And E, you said it earlier, man. And this is the third part about this tree life. You said it earlier about the branches. You made it clear about how, like, branches sometimes get taken off trees, man, and how that's God cutting away or removing some things out of our lives. And in the Bible, you would know that as pruning. It talks about it in the Bible a lot, how God and Jesus pruned a lot, right? And pruning is not a bad thing. If you go talk to a lot of people who deal with plants, who deal with trees, they will tell you, to have that lifespan be successful, you have to prune.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling y'all, I Googled this. In talking to, like, people who deal with vegetables and deal with fruit, they will tell you, to a successful life, you have to prune that tree. If not, you're gonna get a lot of bad branches that disrupt the process of bearing fruit. This is good.
Come on.
And where we at right now in this tree life is the next part is considered a mature tree. That's where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you went from knowing that you're supposed to shoot up to becoming a sapling, coming out of the ground,
Yeah.
learning how to stand tall, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at. And now you're in your mature phase of the tree life where some pruning is going to happen, right? So it says a tree becomes mature when it starts producing fruit. This is when a tree is at its most productive stage. So every stage before this is good, but in the mature stage is when you're at your most productive. How long will it stay in its productive? Depends on the species.
Mm.
Let me help you out. How
Man.
long it stays in the productive stage depends on who you're getting pruned by.
Wow.
Man,
That's good.
listen, a typical English oak tree starts producing acorns at 40 years old. At 40. At 40. Some of y'all 24 right now and like, bro, I am not in the league right now. I do not got the eight-figure check right now. I don't got the Bentley that I wrote down on the little thing that you do like this
That's
with the
good.
4-story house. I was playing life yesterday and it said I was supposed to have it was supposed to be marriage with the 2 babies, with the Porsche truck outside with the white fence and the 5-story house. I don't got none of that. So I must not be doing something right. I am not a good tree right now.
Man.
And whose eyes?
Mm.
Who is pruning you to say that? Is it society?
Man.
Is it the culture? Is it social media? That's who you getting pruned by? If you're getting pruned by those things, you will never be a good tree.
That's good.
You will never be in your productive stage. You will never in your life see you as a tree in your mature stage. You won't, in your view, you won't even hit mature until you're 200 years old. And in that view, you're on your way down. See, in that view, when you're that old, you're supposed to be helping out the rest of the trees around you.
Man.
You're in the wrong stage of life.
Hey, that's
Go
so
ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
good, bro. That's
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Hey, so what you talking about right now is this stage of growth, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of the bamboo tree, right? I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all know about a bamboo tree. Please do your research, and this will speak volumes to your life. A bamboo tree doesn't grow or shoot out the ground until after 5 years. So while, like my brother just pointed out for you, while you're worried about not having this and your status not being that, there's somebody that's acting like a bamboo tree.
Yeah.
And they know their time coming. They're just steady, continuing, staying close to the source. They're pruning the bad stuff off. And they're just doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, after 5 years, it shoots up 40 feet, I believe. 40 feet. So when that 40 feet shoot happens, that's you seeing them like, well, why I can't have the life they have? They driving the Porsche. Why I can't drive the Porsche?
Yeah.
You don't understand what they went through for 5 years. You don't understand the discipline they took to prune, to stay close to the source, to get rid of old branches, to keep watering, to keep feeding. You know what I'm saying? They went through a process.
Yeah.
And that is part of you being a tree. You have to go through the process. There's no escaping it. Either you're going to go through the process the right way and you're going to be patient. See, if you're a person that's a farmer or gardener or into plants and stuff, there's this thing called patience that really helps the plants grow more than anything else.
Yes.
Like if you plant, I don't know, cabbages, right? Or greens, right? I love greens. So if you plant you some greens, right? And you pull those greens up too early out the ground, they not gonna be the same kind of greens that you ate at grandma's house.
Yeah, don't serve them on Thanksgiving.
They're gonna be really immature and they're not gonna probably taste good because they're not gonna be fully grown.
Yeah.
See, you have to fully grow in order to bear fruit.
That's good.
You can't get out here and think, well, man, look, I see my boy over there. He got that new, you know what I'm saying, that new 2-door coupe. How can I speed this process up? Stop asking for speed. Ask God, hey, God, what do I need to do right now? What is my assignment right now?
Man.
Don't worry about how soon you can get there. Just worry about, God, am I ready to be there?
Ooh.
Like the stuff you asking for, man, you don't want that smoke.
Bro.
Put it in terms y'all can get. You don't want that smoke, man. You not ready for that kind of smoke, man.
Bro, you just gave
you're not that guy. So enjoy your process. There is when it comes to this walk with God, man. And I was having this talk with my wife last night. We was on a walk, and I told her, like, I was like, I literally don't know how to enjoy anything. Right? If I was to get $100 million tonight and wake up the next morning, I wouldn't know how to enjoy it. And you want to know why? Because the process that when I complain and cry to God about, I'm not taking my time to be in the process.
Man,
you have to be present in the process and enjoy the process. You got to count it all joy. My brother says it all the time. Count it all joy, right? Everything that you go through. If you in a storm right now, you better start praising. If you done made it past another level of the storm, you better start praising. Like, praise God now so that when he truly brings you out and people see that you this 50, 40 foot tall bamboo tree, that's going to draw them near to you. And guess what you got to give? Fruit.
Man, that's good.
Let's go, man.
Hey, bro, I got to go back. I'm sorry. I wrote it in the chat. I really hope y'all caught that because,
man,
bro, you gave a testimony and, bro, stop asking God for speed. Bro, that is good. Man, that is so good because like you, man, like you, it is hard for me to enjoy. And if God gave me what I wanted right now, I wouldn't even know what to do with it because I've been that person asking for speed. Like I've been that person, God, like, can you, man, you know what? Let's just be real right now. Like, God, can you just get me to,
man,
can you get this? Can you get this? Can you get me to where I want to be, where I can see the hundreds and talk to the millions? Man. Can you just, God, can we just do that?
Yeah.
Can we just do that? Like, God, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I know I may need things to learn more, but the gift you gave me, it can get to the millions. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I prayed for God for speed.
Yeah.
And you said it perfectly. Stop praying, stop asking God for speed and ask him for what you need. Man. Bars, bro. You gave bars.
Bro, that was one for me, bro.
Bro, that was so good.
This
bro.
is big in relationship, man. Like let me get back right here.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
It's so big because I see it today in relationship. And this is why I think marriages is at an all-time low and divorce is at an all-time high. And I'm speaking to those that if you ain't even thinking about marriage, I can probably figure out why. You're looking at society, and society is telling you that it's better for women to be independent, and it's better for men not to even deal with the women because they don't need you anyway. No, that's not how God wrote this thing out. Stop praying for, hey, God, send me my husband now because I'm ready. You're not ready. God, hey, I got time to get there and be married. No, you don't have time, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't know.
Your
We don't know
job.
the time.
You don't know the time, nor the hour, nor the day. So you can't be out here thinking you got time. Oh, you know what? I don't have to be close to the source right now. I can just go do my thing and then I'll get back with God later. But what if you wake up not breathing tomorrow? Then what? What you gonna do? Right? What if you, hey, God, he sends you that husband, and guess what? You ain't even healed in that space that you dealing with your father, and you give this man all the hell and grief in his life, and then you lose him.
Yeah.
What you gonna do then? What's your next prayer? Was he gonna pray for God for a rewind to the speed? No, he not gonna. No, that ain't he. God is not a VHS, people. Sorry, he can't. He's not gonna rewind this thing. You got to keep going forward. But see, what you can do is say, "Hey, this is my prayer now. God, give me the patience. I'm gonna be," and I'm talking to myself right now because if y'all ain't know, I'm going through a medical retirement. I'm ready to go. Okay, I'm ready to leave the Navy. But I keep saying that. And God keeps saying, son, are you really ready? Did I tell you I was done with your purpose yet? What have you given off your tree yet?
Ooh.
You ain't ready. I'm praying for speed, but I should be praying for, hey, God, look, what did I need to pick off my tree today?
Man, that's good.
Let's go, man.
Bro, okay, yes, bro, because we got it. Hey, bro, you own one tonight, bro.
Go,
hey, this part that, like, where we at right now, guys, we're at the mature stage, right? And I'm gonna give a couple Bible verses because you made a couple points, about like, where we at right now, right? I want to give y'all John 15:2, where it says he cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, right? And he prunes the branches that they do bear fruit so that they will produce even more. So in this mature stage, you got to understand pruning is what helps get more fruit out of your lifespan, right? Yes. And then on top of that, when we're going to go to James, we're going to go to James 1:4, right? Where it literally talks about like the importance of, so let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect, right? That's that patience part. Stop praying for speed, right? Man. The Bible's telling you, why are you rushing? Man. You don't need to rush. You need to let this grow, because if you don't let it grow, it's not going to be perfect, right? So, bro, I wanted to give those Bible verses over, bro, because they tied into what we were talking about. And another point in this mature stage that I want to talk about, we talked about how, like, this productive stage depends on the species, or depends on how close you are to the source and how you get pruned, right? You got to understand this. I told you that acorns on an oak tree usually starts producing fruit at 40 years, right? Understand that around 80 to 100 years old, 180 years is their productive stage. 80 to 120 years. So you may think it was late to the party, but look how long its productive stage is.
Man.
Did y'all get that? I don't think y'all caught that. Cultures thinks, dang, bro, you now just got the job at 40. Now you're just at the 8 figures, but they don't know that you about to be doing this for 40 years. I'll leave that to y'all, because y'all probably ain't gonna get that. Another thing that I wanted to say about this in this point of the mature stage, bro, you at this point of trees, at this point of their stages, the trees we see in the woods or in the forest have come a long way to get to their size they're at right now. Let me say that again. The trees we see at the mature stage have come a long way to get to their size. So the people you see at their mature stage have come a long way to get to their mature size they're at right now. I need to look in the mirror and look at myself and say, Jarmarcus, you've come a long way to get to this maturity. We don't say that enough. See, we downplay our growth. We say, how can you be where you at right now, doing what you're doing right now? Yeah. We never look at, you've come a long way to get where you at right now. You went through the shoot up stage. You went to the sapling stage. You didn't got pruned. Yeah, you didn't went through some wind before, but you still got to the size you're at where you're at right now. See, you got to understand that, bro. I
Yeah.
want to move on, bro, to the point, to the part you were getting at, where you talked about, you started talking about like you're on you're ready to go right now, and
Mm-hmm.
God is saying, no, you're not ready. What have you done?
Yeah. Yeah.
This part is called the ancient tree stage.
Mm.
This is where you're at right now. It's when you pass beyond maturity and you're older than the trees of the same species around you, right? It has become ancient, depending on the other like species of trees around you, right? You're now
Yeah.
going into the decaying tree like stage, right? It's called
Mm.
snagging, right? This is where people see trees and they think of it as dying, but the tree life might be at an end, but you're still useful to the wildlife around you. The reason you're
Mm-hmm.
useful is at this point, you now have started making homes for other wildlife around you. See,
Mm.
this is where the trees, where the birds live inside of them. Like, you ever seen a tree with a hole inside of it, and now
Mm-hmm.
birds live inside of it,
Mm-hmm.
insects live into it? You're at this point right now where small rodents need to live on you. Your fruit starts to drop more often. So people are now eating off of you. See, in your life, you're thinking it's time for me to go. It's time for me to pick up and leave. And God is saying, no, it's not. I need you to stay here for a little while because there are some people that's living off of you and there are some people that's eating off of you. That testimony
Yeah.
that you've been through, all that life that you've been through, people are eating off of that. So why would I tell you to go when it's not time to go yet? You have not stopped
Mm.
for producing fruit yet. See, God is not going to move you until you're done producing fruit. As long as you are bearing fruit, he's going to keep you where you're at right now. There's a verse in the Bible said a good tree cannot bear bad fruit. So why would I move you if you ain't producing bad fruit yet? I'm going to keep you here until you stop producing good fruit, until you stop making homes for people. I don't know who needed to hear that, but you're not ready yet. You're not in your final stages just because you reach beyond your mature stage as a tree. See, I told you in the beginning, a tree does not have a ceiling for its growth. Just because you at the ancient or you at the snag portion of your tree life, you still can grow. You still serve a purpose to those around you. Ah, man, this is good, bro. It's good.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question. And this is a question. This is a real question. My pastor up in North Carolina asked me one time, and it was me and my ex-wife. We were doing marriage counseling. He said, "Eric,
Yeah.
if you became a millionaire at 56 years of age, would you enjoy it?" I was like,
Mm.
"Well, yeah, of course I would." He said, "So why are you in such a rush to get there?" And I'm like, so I sat back like, why am I in a rush to get there? He said, you need to enjoy the process. See, it's the journey to the thing that you're praying for
Yeah.
is what you keep missing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So at that time of my life, like it wasn't meant for me to be where I want to go. It wasn't meant for me to get there. God said you can have the things that you want, the desires of your heart. You can ask, but if it's in his will, he'll give them to you. But he doesn't mind giving them to you until you're ready for them.
Mm.
See, your your time, it's not yet.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you that. I mean, it sucks, but it's facts. Your time is not yet. Like you have more fruit to produce. And you were talking to me just now. That's who you were talking to. Because I've been sitting here And I've been getting frustrated at work, and I'm like, man, I'm sick of being here. And he even had me like, man, Jarmarcus and them, they got to leave. Ash, they got to leave. And I'm still stuck here. And I'm dealing with the same people that try to throw dirt on my name. And God was like, let me know when you're done. And I still need you to go bear some fruit.
Bro, that's good. That's hey man, that's being hot.
Man, how
That's
many
being hot.
how many of us are honest with ourselves in our growth stage?
That's good.
Like you got to be 100 with yourself and know
That's
that
good.
it's not your time yet. Like you got other places that people need to come sit and be amongst you so that now they can start their growth process. Like sometimes people don't know how to grow. Like they still stuck under the ground. They don't know how to shoot yet.
Ooh.
So they need an example to see how to shoot.
Oh man, let's go, dog.
Like that's your purpose. See, you bearing fruit in your journey. Yes, you want to be a multimillionaire. Guess what? God, in his plan, you probably won't be that till you're like 65. But will it mean any different than 65 or 42? What was the purpose of you trying to get there? See, we man, this is speaking to me, man. I looked it up, bro. Warren Buffett didn't hit a billionaire until he was 56. If you hit a billion at 56, Jay, how would you feel?
Shoot, I don't even know.
See, we be praying for stuff we don't even know how we gonna feel about it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even know.
We don't even know. If you get to that billion, guess what? Because your holes are still filled with dying, you didn't prune none of that stuff off. You didn't take care of your roots. You didn't water your roots. You didn't stay close to the source. You can get to the God to let you have the kingdom that you think you want, and you still won't be able to enjoy it.
Oh, that's so good. You talking to me. Yeah.
We got to enjoy this process, man. Your time ain't yet, man.
Bro, that's good. Bro, I listen, y'all. I'm gonna finish up on this, man.
Yeah, go ahead,
I'm gonna finish up on this.
Man.
I need y'all to understand in this ancient and snag stage, it's very important because we're out of the mature stage, but it's very important in the stage because your characteristics have changed. In this stage, your trunk has become wider. You have a more firm, sturdy base, right? That's where you're at in the ancient and dying, and not dying stage, but the snag stage. Your trunk is now firm. So your roots are now, if you're standing next to God and you're standing next to the river, you're standing next to the thing that give you life. Your roots are strong. You're grounded where you need to be, and now your base is firm. You're standing tall, right? And I want to point out something why that's so important. 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be on guard and do what? Stand firm in faith. Be courageous and be strong, right? Yeah. Psalms 33:11. But the Lord plans stand what? Firm forever, right? Here we are. Literally, we can keep going on like 2 Corinthians 1:21. It is God who enabled us along with you to do what? Stand firm in Christ. And my last one, the last one that gave me so much, and now it means so much. Ephesians 6:11. Put on all of the God's armor so that you will be able to do what? Stand firm. Like I'm trying to tell y'all right now, in this past mature stage, when you're in this ancient and snag, you are now standing firm. It ain't the end of you yet. It ain't over. God is saying you're not done. You are an example to, like E just said, you are an example to everybody that's trying to get to your point. They're sitting there wondering, why are you able to stand so firm in these shaking storms and wind? Why are you able to be so gracious? Why are you able to have so much joy at this place on this job where everything look like it's in shambles? Why? Because I'm past the mature stage and I'm still producing fruit, because God has shown me that my trunk right now can stand firm against everything that comes comes my way. That is what God is doing. That's why the life of the tree is so important right now. I don't know where you are in your stage, but you need to understand that the life of a tree is the life of you and me. That's what we're doing right now. Bro, this is good. This is good, bro. Hey, God, listen, I want to give you thanks right now because this tonight, I needed to hear and I needed to say this so that I can hear it. Oh my God, this was good. This was good, bro.
Hey, I don't really have nothing else. Man, when I say this thing is God taking us on a journey and it's part of the process.
Oh, this is about to be a good one.
Just enjoy the process. Know what stage you in.
It's about to be a good one.
Learn the stages, man. Learn what stage you in, and just continue to seek the source. Continue to get closer to the source. The closer you are to the source, the more your roots are going to get stronger. They're going to get deeper, and you're going to be able to stand the test of time to a lot of things that are coming your way, whether you know it or not.
Yeah,
and that's the only way you're going to get through that storm. When that hurricane comes in your life, all the trees are, all the people around you gonna be uprooted out your life, and you're gonna be by yourself. But just know the tree that stands by itself, hey, it still produces fruit. It still produces. It doesn't lose its purpose because there ain't no more trees around that tree.
bro.
That's a whole podcast. Oh my
bro,
God.
You just it is.
Look, hey, it's been great. It's been real, man. We love y'all. Hey, please go check out that next part, this episode here for sure.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the next one, man. It's about to be great, man.